Front crawl kick is an important part of the stroke, but one that's often overlooked. Well, it's there to help your body find the correct balance and position in the water, as well as contributing to that forward propulsion. So today we're going to be looking at how to improve your front crawl kick by utilising some drills that we're going to share with you. To practice these drills, it's a good idea to have a kickboard and some fins, and I'd recommend starting all the drills with fins, and once you feel strong enough, then you can do them without them. Now, we've gone into detail on how to do the front crawl kick in a previous video, which we'll share with you later, but the main points that you need to remember are to try and kick from the hip, keep your ankles nice and floppy and your toes as pointed as possible, whilst keeping that knee bend to a minimum. But all of these following drills are going to help reiterate those points. Kicking with a board allows you to focus purely on your legs, and admittedly it does change your body position, but it is a drill so you can focus on this one aspect. So if you start with both your hands on top of the board with your arms resting over it, and that will then allow you to keep your head and mouth easily out of the water so you can comfortably breathe and focus on the leg action. Now you might find though that having your head up, your legs sink a little bit more, so you've got to work a little bit harder on the kick, but you can also put your face back into the water to help lift your hips, and then just lift it when you need to breathe. Alternatively, you can actually put a front snorkel on so you can keep your head in the water and then help with your position throughout the drill. If you start off with fins, it's going to help to work on that ankle flexibility as it adds that resistance through the water, and it's also going to aid your forward propulsion, making isolated kick that much easier. And as a result, using fins actually slows your leg kick down, so it gives you more time to think about the movement. If you can then progress to going without your fins, it'll help you to make your kick smaller and faster. So start by pushing off the wall so you've got that aided propulsion, and then do a short section of really fast small kick and take a long recovery, so you can focus on trying to really activate the glute muscles to make sure the kick is coming from the hip. And it's important to have full recovery so you can do it really hard and fast, as that will encourage to keep your kick that much smaller, and when you return to full stroke or easy kicking, it will seem that much more easy and relaxed. For side kick, it's a good idea to keep your fins on, but you're not going to need a kickboard. So push off the wall and rotate to 90 degrees so that you're facing either the side of the pool or the lane rope. And from that position, you're going to keep your lower arm extended out in front of you whilst taking your upper arm just to rest on top of your hip. So in this position, your legs, hips and feet should be fully submerged, but it should help to reduce those sinking hips. And you want to think of trying to keep a straight line from that leading hand all the way to your feet. And if you can, swim close to the lane rope or the wall. It'll help to make sure you've got the correct position, as well as ensure that you keep your kick fairly small. As if you start to kick too large, then you'll find that your knees or your feet will start touching the wall. Upright kicking is as it sounds. It's kicking vertically in the water, and yes, it is a little bit tougher as you're going to have enough propulsion to get your whole head out of the water in order to breathe. But for this one, you definitely want to start with fins, although hopefully you can progress to doing it without. So you need to find the deep end of the pool, ideally next to the lane rope or the side of the wall, so that you can have a proper rest when you need to. And you're going to start by simply crossing your arms over your chest, looking forwards. Now, you'll soon notice if you've got the incorrect body position, because if you're leaning forwards or backwards, or if you've got a bit of a bend in the torso, you'll find yourself getting off balance. So you want to concentrate on trying to keep your hips slightly forward so you've got that nice straight line whilst driving from your legs and keeping those floppy ankles. You can progress this by then taking your hands onto your shoulders, even onto your head, and if you're feeling really strong, you can hold your hands out of the water up above you. And this is automatically going to encourage you to kick harder and faster. Another drill you can do along these lines is starting on the bottom of the pool, so sinking down, bending your knees and then pushing off the bottom and trying to kick really hard as you can for a few seconds to see how high out of the water you can get. Obviously though, this does depend on the depth of the pool that you're training in. Kicking fast off the wall will give you that initial propulsion that can work really well, as it's much easier to maintain the speed and forward momentum than it is to build it. So for this, you can either use a kickboard or you can go in a streamlined position with one hand on top of the other and your hands extended out in front of you. So for this, you want to push off and kick as hard as you can for around 10 seconds or 15 meters, or until you start to feel that speed dropping off. And then relax, take a breath and just swim back to the wall, and take plenty of recovery between each, because you want to make sure that it's a really high intensity, as kicking this hard will hopefully help to improve your efficiency and keep your kick naturally small. Sticking with hard and fast off the wall, you can now add in the arms and return to full stroke. So push off the wall and do a full sprint for about 15 to 20 meters, really concentrating on that fast and hard leg kick. Now, admittedly, this isn't going to be the kick rate that you'll use when you return to normal swimming, but it should at least encourage and really ingrain that efficient kick. These drills are designed to help you focus purely on the leg movement, so that when you do add them back into your full stroke, you'll have that benefit of more forward propulsion as well as a better position in the water. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Give us a thumbs up if you have, and find the globe on screen so you can subscribe and get all of our videos at GTN. And now that video that I talked about that goes into detail of how to actually do the front crawl kick, you can find just over here. And if you want to see a video on swim mistakes that you might not know you're doing, well, that one is just over here.